And we're back here, Memories of Boston Guys. We got a good one this time. It took us 4 years to get this man down here. He's been all over from coast to coast and border to border. I want to welcome you to the Memories of the Boston Garden with Rocky Raymond. That's right, we got it all done it short and tall. Everyone knows Rocky Raymond. We don't have to go on any names or dames. Everybody knows Rocky Raymond. I've been to all the real territories with this guy here. Let me shake your hand there, baby. There it is, right there. The guy that's been around all my shows a long, long time, from the beginning to the end. He's done it all, and he's going to keep going on. He's done all the places he's been, Whalen Street. He started with Joe Eugenio way back in 1992. Scott, tell us a couple of things and tell us what's been going on and what you've been doing.
Well, I've been trying to stay a little bit busy, Rock, but you know, as you get older, it's a little tougher to get out every weekend, but I'm still out there probably 2-3 times a month. Which is good. I try to stay away from the big long road trips now. I like to be able to be at home at night when the events are over. But you know, still umpiring and doing my thing, and it's a pleasure to be up here with you. It's taken us a little bit of time to get this together. It's been a long
time coming this year with Sweet Scott. You've been on my shows, all the shows I've had. All the things we got coming up, and we do have a lot of things coming up regardless. So we apologize for the show that's going to be postponed for the August 12th because the situation being with the building, the insurance didn't kick in, and a couple of things didn't go right. Had nothing to do with any other things what people may think went on or whatever, but it didn't. Had nothing to do with any kind of crossing of the wires. The building insurance and the priest didn't know what was going on. I had an MMA fight scheduled. I canceled that. Then it became another problem because someone went to bingo and opened their big mouth and said my son was going to do something, and they thought that the MMA was wrong. And then it became another confusing thing. But the show with the memories of all my buddies that have passed, whether it be Kevin Hughes, Steve Bradley, Tony Rumble. I can't believe, Scott, Tony Rumble's been dead for 24 years. Can you believe it? That's a long time. As well as all the other guys, and the one I should have focused on directly, Bandit Bill Rossi, who was just on my show just before he had passed. As well as, you know, Steve Bradley had a bad thing with the fentanyl. He got hurt in wrestling, then he had to get the pills, and you know what happens with those. The doctor cuts you off and whatever. And then Kevin Hughes, he was like my TV guy, Scott. He'd call me up every night. He'd say, hey, the UFC's on, Rocky, turn it on. And I just got back from the store with Mommy Dearest. I got her coffee and some lottery tickets. He was a great guy. He was Walter's first student, by the way. And of course, Master Burns, Richard Burns, USWF. You see him on a lot of the shows that we have. And he's been on, I've done shows with everybody, with every independent in there, and everything has gone on. I've done it all, and I'm going to keep doing it all, whether you like it or not. And I got a new station coming up, but it's sort of like one of those, you know, those type things. And basically, we got a lot of things happening with certain amusement parks. We're going to start a thing called Matt Marvels. All masked guys like Spider Boy or this here. Instead of Captain America, it'll be Red, White, and Blue Man, or you know, the Red Flame, and all these kids are acrobatics. They come in. You see the wrestling that's going on, and the woman wrestling is unbelievable. Nothing compared to the old days of that old groveling wrestling that Kowalski used to do. You know, back to the days of these girls are unbelievable. You see the girls that the things that they're doing, the wrestling moves they're doing, and the coordinations, and that girl Ripley, what's her name, the champion there, with Rey Mysterio's kid. Boy, does she know how to do the finishes, boy. I watched her last night on NXT, Scott, and she ran in, and they're giving that Mysterio kid, Dominic, a good push. He's the North American champion. They had one run in, the other one come in, this going on, that going on, and then, what's her name, Rhea Ripley?
Yes.
And she hit him with the belt, that nice belt that they had made, and she sat up on there, and she did the timing just right, and they're not these boring matches over and over and over and over and over like a goddamn broken record. These girls are unbelievable, and the guys are even unbelievable too. These guys are unbelievable. And I don't know if you caught the Abdullah the Butcher thing last night. I took some pictures off the TV with my camera, and they come up pretty good. I showed you before we were doing the show. And the blood that was going on with Abdullah and that other kid up there, Hannibal, that they used the blade, the same blade, and the kid didn't know how to blade, so he let him blade him and all this other stuff. And It was just crazy. And that Tony Atlas, you should be ashamed of yourself. I hope you catch it, but he's got that thing going like this, talking about everybody. Don't you know what kayfabe means? Don't you know? Certain things could be told. I mean, what they give him, $75 to do that show or something like that? I must have been a ham and cheese sandwich and some pork chops. I don't know. But basically, these guys, and I guess they're going after the guys. You didn't see Jim Cornette on this one, you noticed.
Right.
You didn't see him talking about Abdullah.
No.
Only the, Tony Allen. No, there was more guys scarier than Abdullah the Butcher, like George the Animal Steel. He was believable. They used to run away from him in the Boston Garden, too, and all the other things. But tell us a little bit more about some of the guys you wrestled. I know you wrestled King Kong Bundy. You wrestled Greg Valentine. You wrestled guys like Greg Valentine. You had guys like Bundy, Snooker. Tell us a little bit about wrestling those veterans, Scott. Tell us what you had to go through to be in the dressing room with those guys.
Well, the thing when I was starting and coming up, it was, those are guys that you saw on TV, and when you're seeing them on TV, and all of a sudden you're in the locker room with them, it's pretty intimidating. But once you go, if you trust your skills and get out and do your thing, it all seems to work out. But when you were saying about George the Animal Steel and being scary and people from the garden walking away from him, I wrestled him 5 times, and I was as petrified the 5th time as I was the first. He was definitely a scary individual.
Hey, you! George Steele, hey, you go. Mm-hmm. I watched him in the garden go after a guy coming up the aisle. He went up for him. He lunged at him on one of my great matches from the Boston Garden, which they're going to see coast to coast and border to border. One of these days, someone's going to collect on it. I know we were going to do the thing with Bruno with the Hall of Fame and everything, and kiboshed when he passed, and then his lawyer passed, and then my 2% passed, and then that was the end of that. But it would have been nice, but I got to do a lot of things in wrestling that people never did. How many of you people out there and wrestlers went to Bruno Sammartino's house? Not too many, if any. I had what he needed, of course. I had pictures and films and stuff for the biography, and I had him signing stuff that I'll be going to the Hall of Fame, and people will see the pictures down there in Providence. Is going to be coming up very shortly, I believe the 28th and 29th, with Joe Bruin down there, with all the guys he's got down there. You got an array of all these guys, past, future, and present, and it's going to be a great time. So if you're down in that area, come on down and see me. Come down to my table. I got pictures that you wouldn't believe. We got some real good pictures. Some of them, no one has them. Like they're shot from so long ago from my albums and stuff. And I got pictures from. Matter of fact, we're going to get to the picture part of the show coming up very shortly here. And matter of fact, let's go to some of those pictures right now. All right, we're back here. We're going to go to the Boston Garden Saturday night, October 27th. Is I reading that right? Wow, 8:30 p.m. That's right, tonight's official lineup, the main event for the Worldwide Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship. Pedro Morales from Puerto Rico, 240 pounds, against the Spoiler. And that went to a draw, so Morales does not lose the Worldwide Wrestling Federation Championship. Special event for the Tag Team Championship, Professor Toru Tanaka and Mr. Fuji. They beat Chief J Strongbow and El Olympico. And we had a ladies match, special event, the Women's Championship, the Fabulous Moolah versus Katie O'Reilly. And the Fabulous Moolah, of course, won. Then we had the Showboat, Sonny King defeated the Black Demon. Extra added match, Chuck O'Connor, who later became Big John Studd, beat Arnold Skolin. Then we had another match, Black Jack Slade beat Joe Turco from Catania, Sicily. Joe Cardinale from the North End beat Vincente Promenti. And that was the lineup on October 8:30 p.m. at the Boston Garden. All right, we got another one here. We got an official lineup. That's right, Monday night, October 30th, 7:30 p.m. Steel cage tag team match. Can you believe it? Pedro Morales from Puerto Rico with the Manchurian Giant, Gorilla Monsoon, and he beat the Spoiler and Lou Albano. Chief J Strongbow in a big match against the Sheik, the original Sheik, the Sheik from Abaki, 250 pounds, Arabic. And we had a midget tag team match. Little Beaver and Joey Russell beat Frenchie Lamont and Pee Wee Adams. Joe Turco beat Tony Garea. Oh, I'm sorry. Joe Turco got defeated by Tony Garea. Buddy Wolf beat Mike Lauren. Chuck O'Connor became Big John Studd, beat Black Jack Slade. And then added matches. Mr. Fuji beat El Olympico. Professor Toro Tanaka beat the Showboat Sonny King. And that was another lineup from the Boston Guide. Oh, this is a good one. This is a real good one here. You don't see this one much. As you can see, that color picture of the Sheik, Pedro Morales from Puerto Rico versus the Sheik. It was a draw, and Morales retained the title. Tag team, 6-man tag. Professor Tanaka, Mr. Fuji, and the Spoiler beat Gorilla Monsoon, Jay Strongbow, and Sonny the Showboat King. Fabulous Moolah against Dottie Downs, and Fabulous Moolah, of course, won. Victor Vera over Mike Lauren. Buddy Wolf over Arnold Skolin. Chuck O'Connor over El Olympico. Tony Garea beat Vincente Promenti. And that was the big lineup of the Boston Garden. We had a great show those days, 1, 2, and 3. And that's what we got. All right. And we're going to come back right now. And we're back here. We're back here with Sweet Scott Ashworth, and we got that bubble machine here. We got this bubble machine with all these tiny bubbles. How many of you people out there remember Lawrence Welk? Do you remember Lawrence Welk? Well, if you do, that's good. If you don't, oh well. That was on just before the Ed Sullivan Show. But we're back. We're going to show you some pictures, some memories, and then we're going to get going on with Sweet Scott Ashworth right here at Memories of the Boston Garden, with all the TV there, all the Saugus TV people, all our great crew that's here, and everyone that's working hard as they can to do the best that they can for Saugus TV. Don't forget Founders Day coming up September 9th. We got a lot of things going on. We got things happening. Come on down, get your face painted, hopefully, and meet the world-famous clown. And who knows, it might be the 9th, 10th guy, it might be Steve Kerr, it might be Jericho, it might be Phil Apollo, Ray Apollo. Who else played it? Doink, we can't have the real one because he's passed on, Matt Bourne. And then Skinner, Steve Curran, and then so on and so forth. Ray Apollo, my Apollo, your Apollo, who knows? Could be any one of them. There's been about 15 of them, but we're going to have them here. So hopefully, keep our fingers crossed. All right, let's go to the part of the program. We're going to talk about all the memories. There's my buddy Chris Bazzizo, this show in memory of Killer Chris Bazzizo, Planet Corp Construction. That's right. Worked construction with him all the way, the Big Dig, Mystic River Bridge, so many jobs. And he was a great guy, and may he rest in peace, Chris Bazzizo. All right, in memory of my buddy, the Butcher Hughes, Killer Kowalski's first student. We got him up there. He was like a TV guy. He'd call me up, say he was on TV and all that stuff. We got a memory of him. He passed away quite a bit, maybe 2 years now. But one of the 10 memories of the situation being, so we're going to see you next time with some of the other great guys that are coming on, like Bill Rossi that passed away, and Tony Rumble, of course, has been gone for 24 years now, believe it or not. Time flies when you're in that predicament with, having the situation being, time does fly, but in wrestling it goes even faster. What do you think there, Scott?
I think you're exactly right. It's too bad, but it seems now it's more and more commonplace that you haven't heard from somebody for a while. The next thing you find out, they passed away. I just lost one of my brothers down my way, Reverend Redemption. 2 months ago, he's a year older than I am.
That was the Blade Runner, right?
Yes.
I remember him being down there with Joe Eugenio's group there, and he was the Blade Runner, right?
Correct.
He was a big kid. You almost looked like Abdul the Butcher.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he was a big guy. Yeah, I remember him being there doing that. and I can understand. But yeah, time flies. You got to watch your health. You got to stay in shape. And I'm 65 now, and I got to watch. I had a pretty bad accident back in April 22nd that I'm, having battles with, and surgeries coming up, and all sorts of things. So I'll probably be out of action for a while, somewhere down the line. But you never know. I might be able to do something here or there. But memories of the Boston Guy, and I hope you guys enjoyed all the great things and all the stuff from the Boston Guy and all the great things coming up. And Scott, tell us a little more before we go into the programs of the Boston Guy, and like some of the guys like the Tonka and those guys, and where you started. I know you started in '92 with Joe Eugenio down there with Whalen
City Wrestling.
Whalen City Wrestling.
That turned into Yankee Pro Wrestling down there. It was so there was a Coggeshall Street in New Bedford. There was a bunch of mills. So I went in one time. I looked. There was 3 rings set up. I had a conversation with Joe. Next thing you know, I was training, and about 3 months later, I had my first match at the PAL Hall in Fall River.
Yeah.
Iconic, old school wrestling building.
Well, I had my my ring there because he rented the ring, he rented the cage. Because everyone knows in New England that I had a ring, I had the cage, I had everything going. No one had nothing going on in New England other than, I think Kowalski had a couple of police shows every now and then Richard Burns ran the USWF with the Iron Messiah, and other than that, there wasn't much going on. And I had to hook up with Bruno, and they had the Superstars of Wrestling, I believe. It was Larry Zbyszko against David Sammartino Jr., and that was going on in Pennsylvania. But otherwise, doing that, and then going and doing TV in Canada, I worked up there with the Rougeaus. And I believe Frank Valois, the manager of Andre the Giant. This was real wrestling. This isn't people that were in wrestling that they thought they were in wrestling. They weren't in wrestling. They were in a cartoon, and they'd never been to a real territory or known the territories, because like the kids now today, they don't. I heard that someone told me. I think someone started talking to the people, and saying one kid wouldn't come out till the music was on, or there was the music had to be played, or something to some effect. I don't know, but we didn't have no music, and when they did have music, I think, was it the Freebird that come out to the music first? Bad Company or something? Michael Hayes down in Texas. They had the music start, coming out to the music and stuff. But in today's day and age, there's not much going on anyway. I mean, the shows are, if they're drawing 100, 140 people, like because you're doing these independents now.
Sure.
What are they drawing? 100, 140 people? Maybe?
Yeah, and the halls are very small. A lot of VFW halls, Knights of Columbus, those type of venues. Where I remember when I worked for you at the Thompson Speedway, we had 5,000 people up there in the bleachers. 5,000.
You're talking about 18,000, buddy, with the monster trucks, the fireworks, and the jumps of it all. I mean, that's back to the days where you could say that the wrestling was wrestling and not what they say today, because you got organizations. They're not organizations. They're kids, and they do 5-6 shows for a fair for a couple of thousand for 5 or 6 shows. I mean, kind of killed the business. And then you got guys out there like Luke the Bushwhacker. He's still making $2,000 from people that people are still paying him the money. Can't do an arm drag, but they're still paying him, $2,000. Or some people. He said, "Well, I'll work for you for $1,500, Rocky." He said, "Yeah, I don't think so." But the whole deal is that everything has changed, and the memories of the Boston Guy, and we're here at the greatest entertainment complex in all of Saugus, the only complex in Saugus TV, along with the Historical Society, which is great, and all the things that have been done with a beautiful studio here, and some things for the things that are coming up. And how do you like it here? We took you 4 years to get you down here.
I think this is fantastic.
Yeah.
This is a great studio. Anthony's a good host. It's been a lot of fun. I can't believe it took me this long to get here, Rock.
Well, we get it down. My goal was 10. I'm just about at, I think, 10 or 11 or whatever the case may be. But like I said, right now, I'm sort of in between that accident I had. And I'll know on July 25th if I'm going to be doing any serious surgeries, but I sort of got a feeling that That's where it's going to go. But all you people out there, remember one thing. There's only one Boston bad boy, Rocky Raymond, and there's only one Sweet Scott Ashworth, and all the great things. And we got a great match coming up, I believe, But we're going to go to the programs right now from the Boston Garden. Be back. Station identification.
Coming into the ring now, it's Greg the Hammer Valentine. This match, October 13th, 1979. Bruno Sammartino versus Greg the Hammer Valentine, a second-generation wrestler. And coming into the ring now with his manager, the Golden Boy, Alex Golden, it's Bruno Sammartino, the living legend. Great crowd here in Boston. The Mac Classics. Oh yes, it's Bruno Sammartino and the best of Bruno Sammartino. And our referee for this match looks like to be Freddie Spada. And there's the bell. This match is going to be a great match with the second generation, Greg the Hammer Valentine. And Sammartino, unbelievable action as he goes in for a go behind now. Into a sit-up by Greg the Hammer. And he used that elbow on Bruno. And he comes down with a heavy forearm on the chest of Sammartino, and he replies with another one of his own. Sammartino with a side headlock now. Valentine shoots him in with a hip toss, no reversal. And Bruno sends him real now, and he's going in for that armbar on Greg the Hammer Valentine. Turns it into a hammerlock now. This is one of his favorite moves. Got him in the middle of the ring in the Boston Garden. You can hear that crowd start to chant. It's starting to count. Not too many wrestlers have the charisma of Bruno Sammartino, the living legend, winning the title for the first time in May 1963 by beating the Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers, in the old Madison Square Garden. And Sammartino now at the hammerlock on this second generation, Greg the Hammer Valentine. Maybe you people don't remember his father, Johnny Valentine. And Sammartino had some Donnybrook battles with his dad also. And then in the corner now going back with heavy blows back and forth. As you notice, these punches going back, brutality was always at its finest. This is the great times of professional wrestling. These were the great days of professional wrestling. These were the days when wrestling was professional wrestling. And that's what you saw in the marquee, and that's what you got as the Greg the Hammer Valentine comes down with a heavy elbow on the back of the head of Sammartino. Now working on the leg because you know Valentine loves the figure four leg lock. And Bruno Sammartino breaks over with a couple of angles to the side of the arm of the Hammer. Bruno backs him into the corner with a couple of right hands now. And Valentine comes back with another knee to the midsection of Bruno Sammartino, followed up by a flying elbow, and he's working on the legs of Sammartino, trying to weaken it up for the figure four as Valentine comes down with some elbows, and Sammartino comes back with a couple of boots to the side of the face now, and Valentine sent railing down, Bruno back to his feet now, and in the corner going back and forth, a right hand to the side of the face now. Valentine goes in for a leg dive, and he's cinching it up now, and Sammartino gets some heavy shots to the back of the head. These are heavy blows now. Oh, Valentine now with a low blow now. The referee on the wrong side, the blind side. And Valentine working on these legs now again, drops a big elbow on the chest of Sammartino. Just a 2 count now, another punch. He's got the figure four on him. Oh no, Sammartino breaks out of it. And it looks like now they're going back and forth now, tooth and nail. Right hands by Sammartino, a second one, a third one. And Bruno got him in the corner now, much like Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. And then working on the arm now, Sammartino, figure four again. Valentine kicked out by Sammartino. And the referee now can't control this action so fast. He's got that half crab on him now. And he's trying to work on the leg of Sammartino. He's trying to put him in that half crab, and the referee looks on. Sammartino's trying to roll him over here in Boston, the great man classics. And Valentine got the leg, and Bruno got the axe handles on the arm. They're going back and forth, tooth and fist. Unbelievable action, back and forth, much like a boxing match. It looks like a contender match. They're going crazy here. Bruno's opening them up now with boots and right hands to the side of the head. They can't control him. He backs him into the corner again now. Unbelievable as Bruno got that arm by. He loves to work the arm. Shoots him in. Big elbow by Valentine. And Valentine out on his feet now as he drops the 2 knees. And he looks like he's going to scoop Sammartino up for that big backbreaker across the knee now as Sammartino. Lateral press. Sammartino almost counted out there. Figure four again. He's trying to set him up for that figure four. Sammartino kicks out. Valentine in the corner now catches a big boot to the side of the head. And another right hand now. And a second one. Valentine outside the ring. The crowd's going crazy here in Boston. Another boot to the face of Greg the Hammer Valentine. Oh, he hit that corner post. He hit that steel post. The referee's down now. He's out of there. The 10 count outside the ring, and Valentine caught the raft of Bruno Sammartino, the living legend.
And we're back here. Members of the Boston Garden with Sweet Scott Ashworth. You better believe it. You better believe it right now because we're telling you so don't let it go. And you know that we got it all right here. So we're going to shoot some pictures up at Scott, and then we're going to go to his... There's one there, Scott. Tell us a little bit about this one. We know this was Thompson Speedway.
That's Thompson Speedway. That's me and my partner, Brickhouse Baker. After we won the championship, we ended up going, we had an escort in one of the cars, the motor cars on the speedway. I'd never been so scared. I was a little nervous as we were going around the track. I told the guy, hey, slow down, please.
That's the pace car. And there's the one of Sweet Scott with the famous Eddie Gilbert type tights with the flames coming up the side and the big lips on the back. I believe that was at Midsummer Nights in Wakefield, Scott.
Midsummer Nights in Wakefield. I think we worked probably 5 or 6 times. People would come out, come back in, go back out. We start another show. And if I remember correctly, a very, very important person gave me those tights. It was an honor to wear Rocky Raymond, Boston Bad Boys, flame tights.
I don't think I ever got to wear those tights because those were made up for a particular gimmick that never really happened. But yeah, that's back in K&H days when, you know, not like now. I mean,
The heavy duty.
Some of the gear that, you know, it's unbelievable, the gear that these girls wear, the gear that the guys wear,
Sure.
and the outfits they come out with, and all the stuff that they do. I just can't believe the wrestling. I mean, I don't to watch it, but these were the good old days right here, Wakefield,
Absolutely.
Midsummer Nights. Here's an old one, Thompson Speedway.
Thompson Speedway, we get the Party Man, Juan King, Brick House, Tex McCoy,
Yeah,
Rocky, and who was the referee?
that was Tony DiMaggio, I believe.
So, yeah,
Tony, yeah, he passed,
yeah.
and yeah.
All the boys, boy, we were all young then, huh, Rock?
Yeah, that was Thompson Speedway. We had it for 10 years straight. The man of the hour, the man of the hour, the man too sweet to be sour, sweet Scott Ashworth.
Jeepers, way back when, I had a lot of hair, and I was an awful lot younger.
Yeah, absolutely. Those were
Wow.
the days.
These are bringing me back down memory lane here, Rock.
Well, that's where we're going. Memories of the Boston guy. And there's our first picture.
That was the absolute first one. That had to be fresh, probably a year out of college. We were for the people.
Yeah, that's black and white, 8
Yeah.
by 10. You get, what, 500,000 of them for, like, I don't know what it was. I remember the time we were up in Conway, New Hampshire. And, well, the night before, you know, we were in Everett because I had double shots, you know.
Right.
1,200 people in one place, another 1,200 in the other. That was back in, what, 96, I believe, somewhere around there?
Yeah.
And then the Mountie, I should say, well, Ray Roy, he had permission to play the Mountie through, I think Ross, he was friends with that announcer,
Yeah.
and he gave him permission to do that. I guess, didn't he do that thing with, he played Santa Claus and Stone Cold Game the Stunner?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
I
lived-
think he had something to do too. He owned a tow company or worked for a tow company.
Yeah,
And one of the
he was very
ring
big.
trucks
He was,
went down.
he was in good shape. He had the suit.
Yeah.
Hey, worked for me. The Mountie. No one knew the difference. Difference between paying someone $750 and instead of paying someone $150. I took the $150.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a nice picture.
This is a little more recent. I could tell with the uniform and the chunky but funky shirt.
Chunky Monkey, huh? You played
Chunky but funky, yeah.
Chunky but funky. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Hey, anything that works.
Sure.
How many people that drove there in that Webster? I know I was right there in the Thompson Speedway. We had fireworks and all that other baloney
Right.
going on, monster trucks and, you know, all the things going on. And
Webster was an old town hall building, fantastic. And
sort of like IBW Hall, like?
a little bit, but not like the dome. It was more of an upper
Square, like?
yeah, square rectangle with a top row and then the floor seats. But we do 12 to 1,500 every time we went there.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, those crowds, it's diminished.
well, they used to, didn't they? They had like Kevin Nash, or they'd have Bret Hart, or
Yeah,
didn't Kane go there once?
Kane went.
Kane went. Yeah,
Flair.
Kane's going to be at this Hall of Fame too. We'll see how many people it draws.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's 28th, 29th up there at the Crown Plaza in Providence. If you people, I don't know if this is going to get aired before then, but they're going to have Kane and I guess Haku and a bunch of other guys. You can catch it online. They got it all going up there. The New England Hall of Fame being run by, I believe, Joe Bruin.
yeah. He's been doing that for a while now.
Yeah, I went there
One of
a few
that.
years ago. It was Kinsikusei, Kinsikusa. We'll see how it goes.
Well, it started in like local halls, and he'd run it in conjunction with a
Yeah,
card.
we got Ringo from Revere in the Hall of Fame, and we got Judge Washboard and whatever. But whatever the case may be, we'll hope for the best, and that's we can't be negative. We gotta hope for the best. That's
Sure.
what we can do.
Yep.
Like I said, I was hoping that you'd be free that day, but we'll get someone to drag along. Who knows? Who knows? I might not even show up. Who knows?
Right.
At this point. But we got a great thing coming at you right now, all you wrestling fans from all the areas, whether you're watching us in Lynn, you're watching us in Salem, or you're watching us in Malden. Where you watching us? Where you going? Revere, Lynn, Saugus, Malden, Salem, Winthrop? Yeah, it's on everywhere. We're going to get postcards. We got them going on everywhere. We're going to be doing a show in Winthrop for the handicap. We're doing that show that we did many years ago, and the kids from the school dress up as their favorite wrestler. That's coming up when school starts up again. And we got, of course, November 4th with Axe Demolition coming up. He will be coming here on November 3rd to do the talk show, Memories of the Boston Garden. It will be, it may be, who knows, but it's going to be a good one. He's coming in on November 3rd. November 4th, we're going to be somewhere in the vicinity doing the memory show of all the memory people. And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to come back at you right now with Sweet Scott Ashworth.
Coming at you right here in Belleville, we got Greg the Hammer Valentine, the master of the figure four, if you will. Oh yeah, we got a great show for you this week, so come on. Sit on down and watch Empire Pro Wrestling, the best of it. Legends too. With the beautiful flamboyant robe, the long, blonde flamboyant hair. It's Greg the Hammer Valentine, one of the most successful professional wrestlers in all of pro wrestling, and filled by most of all the boys in the back, the masters of figure four, and many of you fans, if you go way back, may remember Johnny Valentine, the father of Greg the Hammer. Second generation wrestler. Oh yeah, they make him, they break him right here in all the pro wrestling. Now you see the fans here at North Attleboro going wild here at the Night of Legends. As well as many more wrestling to come right here tonight. We got a big one coming up at the end of the show. That's right, we got the Warlord. He's a legend. And Greg the Hammer Valentine, his opponent this week, Sweet Scott Ashworth, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man too sweet to be sour. Oh yeah, the man with the reflection of perfection. Coming on in your direction, that's right. It's Sweet Scott Ashworth, that's right. Been in independence for many years. As you can see, his manager now. Right in the head. Oh, I don't know, there's a big elbow now by Greg the Hammer Valentine now, as he comes down with those big, heavy elbows on the head of Sweet Scott Ashworth. As he sends him railing down to the mat now. Two of the great moves of Greg the Hammer Valentine is his devastating elbow, as well as we all know, that bad figure four leg lock. And Sweet Scott makes his way to the ropes now. And it's Sweet Scott now turning around, putting the boots to Greg the Hammer Valentine. And it's that man now, as you see, Sweet Scott Ashworth with the reverse headlock on the hammer. All you people watching the best of Empire Pro Wrestling, you can watch it each and every week. 10 p.m. to 11 every Friday night. There's another big heavy elbow by the hammer, followed by a lateral press. As you notice, these veterans, they always hook the leg. It's one of those rookie moves. As you see him going to a drop toe hold now, spinning over to a leg scissor now. And you see the veteran-type moves of Greg the Hammer Valentine. As you notice, there's only real wrestlers here on the best of Empire Pro Wrestling. Oh yeah, none of these backyard grovellers. Oh, we're going into bad boy mode, the cops mode. You watch that show, the cops, they go into this mode. And EPW goes into this mode. The EPW cam and some of the great tight footage. Right here, you can see the lettering on the back of the hammer. Break the Hammer Valentine. With the leg scissor now on. Sweet Scott Ashworth is going up now. Working on that leg now, it's the Greg the Hammer Valentine. The veteran as he's cinching up now. Working on that leg, setting him up for that figure four, I bet. And the manager on the ropes now, this red-headed, little skinny groveler, if you will, on the ropes. He better get off those ropes. He's going to get caught by the hammer with one of those heavy elbows. And the hammer, as we all well know, likes to work on the legs now, as you see the sweet one hopping around like the bunny rabbit. And he comes up with a double axe handle now on the back of the head of Greg the Hammer Valentine trying to shake off that leg, if you will, and get him in the corner now. A couple of heavy blows, and another one on the top of the head of the Hammer. And our referee and that manager too, a little skinny groveler, choking down on the Hammer now. And the Hammer's not going to take much of this. Oh, Sweet Scott now, kick to the kidneys now, and another kick to the kidney now as our referee. Oh, we don't discriminate here in Empire Pro Wrestling. We got a woman referee. Can you believe it? Oh, big flying elbow now. Sends the Hammer railing into the mat now. As the Sweet One thinks he has things under control here. Don't waste your time. There's that inexperience. And there's a sloppy cover. That should have been a lateral press for hooking the leg. And Sweet Scott now trying to put the crucifix, if you will, on the Hammer, Greg the Hammer Valentine. Very extensive background in the WWF, better known now as the WWE whole heavy title. Whether it be tag team, whether it be intercontinental as well. And, starting his career down south, he was also a great competitor down in the NWA. Down on the south side, the Jim Crockett promotion, if you will. Big elbow down in the midsection of Sweet Scott Ashworth. And as the Hammer now starts the heavy blows to the top of the heads, as you notice, Greg the Hammer very rarely using those elbow pads. Does he set him up now? Oh, it looks like he put him down across the stomach now with that knee now. Very devastating move as the Hammer comes up with that experience. Around the world, Greg the Hammer Valentine has traveled, very extensive background. Whether it be here, there, everywhere, Greg the Hammer. With another big heavy elbow, he's been everywhere. And just the 2 count now by this referee. Greg the Hammer Valentine likes to work on the lower part of the body. Oh, he drops the knee down on the side of the rib cage of Sweet Scott Ashworth. Starting to wear him down now. It's the Hammer. Oh, right across the eyes now by the Sweet One, if you will. Oh, it backs him up to the corner now. It's Greg the Hammer Valentine with a big heavy forearm now. Oh, a second one now. You can see the saliva flying here. And the Night of Legends. Oh, another crack. And it's Greg the Hammer Valentine now. Irish whip off the ropes now. Oh, Sweet Scott comes up with a big knee of his own. And the Hammer got caught with his head down. Don't telegraph those moves. And also, don't use any of these moves on your brother or your sister. Keep all these moves to the professionals. It's Greg the Hammer Valentine now. Run it home. Nobody home on that big elbow. If you hit that one, forget about it. Believe that into the corner now. Greg the Hammer Valentine. Oh, nobody home. Big knee into that turnbuckle. That could be the knee that Valentine's been working on the whole match. Oh, a heavy elbow. He's winding it up. Oh, no. Oh, no one drops him like that. No one drops him like the Hammer. The Hammer looking at, he's going to take him to school right now. Oh, he's setting him up for the big one. The coup de grace. He's got him going now. There's no way out. He's locking it in heavy. It's the Hammer and the figure 4. Call a cab. Call a cab. It's all over, Sweet Scott Ashworth. We're back into bad boy mode. Bad boy mode right here. The Cox Show, as seen on TV. EPW, the EPW cam has the mode for you. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when the EPW cam gets a hold of you right here on Legends 2? Another victory for the great Greg the Hammer Valentine. Oh yeah, watch it every week right here, 10 to 11 on KBLE TV. The best of Empire Pro Wrestling.
And we're out. This is the new one. We got a new belt here. We got it right here. We got the new Universal Sagas TV belt. We got the other belt. We got them all belt. We're going to give you a belt. Now here we go with Sweet Scott Ashworth against the Boston Bad Boy. Okay, ready to go?
Ready.
Ding. All right, we're off. We're battling our way. Hit. Oh! Again, Rocky Raymond. He has the new belt, the Universal, the blue one. Yeah, the blue one. You know the one, the blue, the red, the gold. They got so many belts now, it's unbelievable. Thank you, Raymond. There it is, the new champion, or I should say the new Universal champion. You know what? We're going to give you that belt for coming down. Take that belt there. We're going to give that belt. That's the old belt. This is the old Sagas TV, but we're going to give that to old. Got him in the mouth with that one. And we're giving him that belt because you know why? It took me 4 years to get him down. And he's here. We may not let him go. And we'll be back with some more action from Memories of the Boston Garden. And we're back here. Memories of the Boston Garden with the man with the reflection, the perfection coming on down in your direction. He's been all over. He's like Coca-Cola. He's been east, he's been west, he's been south, he's been east. He's all over the place. But he's been there for Rocky Raymond for all the shows. And everybody knows Rocky pays the best. Rocky does the best, has the best finishes. And we're going back to the track. Aren't you excited for November 4th? We're going to come up with Axe Demolition. He's going to come up. I don't know what we're going to do with it, but we're going to do it, baby. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We got Astro Man. He's going to be back from the Dominican Republic by then. I guess he wanted me to go to the Dominican, but I do not want to go to the Dominican. I don't want to go anywhere on the plane over there too far away and people with the mask and all the nuts doing what they're doing. I want to stay in my house. With my friend, she's got the little bulldog, and I'm happy. She's got the little Frenchie bulldog, and I might just trying to get me into getting one and mating them and doing that. I don't know. I don't know. It's too much. I'll play with yours and you play with mine. Oh no. I mean, the situation being, it's great. She's a great Asian girl, great cook and all that stuff. The Asian girl's great. They put the food on your dish first, and all that stuff.
Yep.
And very nice.
Very nice.
How you doing now?
I'm doing fantastic, Rock.
Tell us a little bit. That match was a great match you had with Valentine. Tell us a little bit more about wrestling. Greg the Hammer Valentine. That's a guy that's been around. He was the manager of Gorgeous George, I think he was. He was the guy with the spray thing. He sprayed the mist, I think, back in the day. And then he was with the Fargo brothers. He was with Don Fargo. He was the Fargo brothers, and he was, of course, you go all the way up to the list when he became Greg the Hammer Valentine's tag partner. But everyone came out in the Boston Garden. I got the film. I don't think I have it I don't think I did anything with it because at this, Greg Valentine against Bob Backlund. All the wrestlers came out to watch the match because it was a shoot. It was a legitimate amateur type wrestling. Greg Valentine laid him in. He was stiff. He did those things. Tell me, how did you handle wrestling Greg Valentine? My good God.
Well, when you said about him and Backlund having a shoot, I think every time Greg went in the ring, it was a shoot. He was, let's just say, his stuff was pretty snug. But that match, he was just off TV, and we went up and down, and he's taking bumps, I'm taking bumps. It was I think it was for like the Pop Warner football in
that was exactly at, I know it was at, it was in
North Attleboro.
Yeah, North Attleboro, right. I remember that.
And,
was that the night when the kid got his neck kiboshed? Was that the night, I think, maybe?
No, I think that was in another place in the South. Yeah. But I mean, there was 1,700, 2,000 people. All the kids were in their football uniforms. It was just it was a pleasure to be able to work in front of a crowd like that and have somebody that didn't have to go as hard as he did. Actually, we went. It was one of the best matches I've had, I think, throughout my career.
Yeah, well, one of them I saw on that night too. Kevin, I used to call him Crippler Kevin. Didn't I call him Crippler Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin the Crippler Kelly.
Crippler Kelly, something like that. And he wrestled Brian Knobbs, and Brian Knobbs really hammered up a couple of times. But I think it was on that same card, on that same show that you can see on YouTube. I think it was a Night of Champions, wherever it was. But you go through them all. It doesn't really matter at this point. It was Brian Knobbs against Kevin Landry, and he really hammered him up. And you can go on YouTube and see all the great things and all the great things to be and the great things to come.
Rocky, your shows on YouTube, it's like taking a walk down memory lane of my career and the guys.
A lot of work through all the years that I've been doing wrestling since I started wrestling in '77, of course, and then that was with Kowalski and all those guys, and then went on to wrestle with superstars with Bruno Sammartino and Sam Medica and Mike Mittman, the announcer, and the lawyers and all that, and started to learn. Dominic DiNucci was part of that, and all the guys. And they're doing that feud with Larry Zbyszko against Bruno Jr., which was David, and they were calling him David Sammartino. And they would say David Sammartino Jr. because they were pushing the Sammartino thing. Mm-hmm. And then from there, you know, of course, we mixed in with the Bedlam from Boston, and then we did quite a bit of other things that people wouldn't even touch on. And no one's been to Bruno's house either. I have.
I've
He
seen the
signed all
pictures.
my stuff at his house because, of course, I was the man for the biography. You know what I mean? And basically, we're going to show you one of the great belts that we're making. We're making belts again. I got two I got to make right now for a couple of people that want them. They see these great belts that they are. They're not replica belts. They're not the ones you buy on with the WW, you know, like my belt that someone had got, and my new championship that I just won, and this particular belt here, the blue one. You know, the blue is for you. The blue is for you. Saugus TV, Memories of the Boston Garden, and what else can we talk about that we haven't touched on, like, you know, making your professional career with wrestling, with your real job as being with the school department and doing stuff like that, and how do you bounce that back? Because certain people kept their job, and you know, you got to keep your job in wrestling. You got to have a real job with the
Right.
wrestling, because the bookings, well, you know, the weekend thing or the weekend warrior type thing, you can't run a house on it and what have you. And in today, there's nowhere to go, and it seems like I've, you know, talked to a couple of people getting back into doing a couple of things, and it's just more aggravation. You know, you got all these people that are doing shows, and they're not drawing more than 150 people. They can't afford to bring in any big names. The big names that I know are all gone. And like I said, Axe Demolition, November 4th, somewhere in the vicinity, as well as all my 10 different guys that we're going to be doing the Sausage Safari. And if it's the last thing I do in wrestling, I will do that November 4th. If I got to build a building, I will have that show in the vicinity. And Demolition's coming down, and we got, you know, a bunch of people that we were talking about before: Trey, the Smooth Operator, Astro Man, the Robot. You know, the same thing. Just postpone it a little bit, and we're going back to the same location we did the other things that we did before. We used your ring, but it's going to be a great time. Sausage Safari, all the great things. November 4th. Just mark it down. We had to postpone a couple of things. Didn't work out, and we're gonna do it if it's the last thing I do in wrestling. So Scott, tell us a little bit about how Joe Eugenio broke you in, and where you went from Eugenio. And you told me a little bit about the Dominican Republic. How did that come about? I'm interested in that.
Okay, so I started when I got out of college. I was a basketball player in college, teacher prep program, etc. So I started with Joe. I'd been working in the school, and it was something back then you could actually supplement your income by working the independents on the weekend. So I did probably 2 years, just work for Joe only. And then I was lucky enough to get my first, what we used to call outside bookings. I ended up working for you at the Night of Thunder in Everett, where it was the first time that I ever worked in a cage, and the place was crawling with people. It was a really good experience, and from there, that actually opened up more opportunities to work for other people. So when, you know, Joe at one point in time would run 80 shows in a year, but there was some weekends off, or there was some shows that maybe the money wasn't right. It gave us the opportunity to fill in our bookings with a little more higher profile bookings than what might have been going on in our area, which really helped, because, you know, if you get $150, $200 payday, back then that would take care of the phone bill and the cable. Now I don't think it even does the cell phone. But I kept going on. I still coach basketball, what I played in college, and I'm looking in probably 2 or 3 years, retirement, and I don't know what's going to happen from there.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Time don't stop for nobody.
No.
And we want to give you this particular Boston hat. Little gift here from Rocky Raymond. And
Thank you, Rock.
and have that, and I'm going to put this one on for a bit too, because We got a thing coming up with Sports World on Route 1. We're going to go up there on our next intake, and of course, Dynasty, baby. We know where they're located, the Dynasty, the upholstery place. And they got some great things. And how's that look, all right?
Looks all right, Rob.
Hey, Sports
There you
World.
go.
I don't know if it's straight or camera, man. Sports World. I don't know if I got it on straight or I got it right or... I don't know, I got it on straight or
You
what?
got it on straight. I'm going to put on my
Eh,
My
all right,
new hat,
Sports World.
too.
We're gonna be up there, Sports World. It's like a museum up here. It's like a museum. Is this straight or right? Or what do I got? I got a straight, right, or left, or right. Anyways, zoom in, cameraman. Sports World. We're going up there with the cameras. We're gonna do all the things with all the great things. Sports World with Phil Castiello and his son Corey. He got some great pictures up there. It's like a museum. The back room is like a frame city, frame basketballs. He's got footballs, basketballs, baseball cards, football cards. He's got your sister's cards. He's got everybody on there. You never know. And let me tell you, it's unbelievable. We're going up there our next take, and I think we'll be wrapping it up for a while. I might be going to surgery by then, but we're gonna go up there and get Phil Castiello at Sports World. We're going to be up there, take some film of some great shots. Who knows, he might give us a picture or two to hang over here at the studio. I don't know. All right, Sports World, we're going to be there momentarily. We're coming to see you, Phil.
Here at World Gym in Summer with the living legend Bruno Sammartino. It's me, it's BBB, the only man that can bring the oldest, the best, the foundation of professional wrestling to Boston. Here he is, the living legend Bruno. Tell him a couple of words in Italian, Bruno.
Well, a tutti voi cari paesani di qui di Boston, sono tanto contento di trovarmi qui in Boston, vi saluto a tutti e vi ringrazio sempre per tutti gli anni fa che mi avete dato tanto il coraggio e il supporto qui a Boston.
And remember to watch Empire Pro Wrestling, the best of the best. The living legend's going to be there. The interview's coming. Watch it from 10 to 11 on the Grade 8 with who? The living legend.
Well, thank you, Rocky. Looking forward to it.
The best there is. Bruno Sammartino, be there.
And we're back here. That's right, the battle for New York. It's all over again. Work, shoots, and double crosses. And boy, I get double crossed a lot. Let me tell you, we got one coming up right here, Madison Square Garden, July 16th. That's right, 1960. The attendance was 15,850. The gate was $45,092. The main event, Antonio Rocca and Ricky Starr beat Dr. Jerry Graham and Pampero Firpo 2-0. One fall by disqualification in 13 minutes and 29 seconds. Bruno Sammartino and Ilio DiPaolo beat Chris and John Tolas. 3 falls by DQ. 2-1, 26 minutes and 46 seconds. Miguel Perez beat Doc Gallagher in 8 minutes and 15 seconds by DQ. Mike Gallagher beat Jose Romero, and that took 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Pat Kelly drew Charles Robinson, and that was 16 minutes flat. The Bavarian brothers, Harry and Rudy, beat Great Antonio. Was that big heavy-set guy. Big Antonio is a big heavy guy. And it was Lou Albano got beat by Jackie Fargo, and that was the Battle from the Garden. Notes, Vince McMahon, entire Washington drew Buddy Rogers, Skullhead Murphy, Johnny Walker, Prince Maivia, Red and Lou Bastien, and Arnold Skaaland in the name of few that was coming to Madison Square Garden in the future, and that was the Battle of the Garden. Shoots and all the other double crosses from New York's Madison Square Garden. All right, we're back. We're going to show you a couple pictures, wrap it up. Thanks, Doc, for coming down.
Thanks for having me, Rock.
And we're going to be doing this again, hopefully, soon. And we're definitely going to Sports World. There's Abe Ford. Remember Abe Ford? He's the man that booked Boston Garden. He booked Bruno Sammartino every month. He knew what he was doing. Abe Ford, that's down at the Cauliflower down at, I think that was in California down there, City, something city, I don't know. something city down there in California, where they had the Cauliflower Alley with Abe Ford, yeah. There's one, Andre the Giant with Bobby Orr. That's the one I told you about, Bobby Orr, Andre the Giant, and Carol Vatney. All right, we know this guy. What's this guy's name?
Promise Thomas.
Antonio Thomas, the Italian. Yeah, what's he do a gimmick? What's his gimmick now? He does something.
I forget now, but he's still training guys in Worcester.
And there's Bruno Sammartino. Yeah, I made that belt there that Antonio Thomas was. That's the Bruno album. We showed the footage from that. We showed the interview on that. We can always play that again down in the future. And Pedro Morales. It's Pedro and Bruno. That's a great picture of those two guys. They were great, great legends. You remember when they wrestled in Shea Stadium, Bruno against Pedro? They had the TV match with Tanaka and Fuji. They threw the salt in Bruno and Pedro's eyes. They started fighting. And then they had the big match at Shea Stadium, Bruno against Pedro. Yeah. Buddy Rogers, that's the one I was telling you about. That was in the Tony Altamori album. A particular person had the album, and I took this picture out and the other one with the Tony Altamori, and I copied them and then put them back in the book, and then away that went. And there's John Cronus. Yep, the Destroyer. One went high, one went low. They took your head off.
Yep.
They took your head off with that total elimination. There's Captain Lou Albano. That was at the Burn Center. That was the last show that I believe I did with Silvano Sousa, I believe. And there's the old, that's the picture of me at Boston Phoenix, I believe. The Boston Phoenix. Yep, many, many moons ago. And there's the 4th of July, little guys, Peanut and Bella. And there's the best mayor of Revere, Tom Ambrosino, getting awarded the championship belt. There's me and Bruno Sammartino down at the Americas Club in a hotel in Pennsylvania. And there's another picture of Bruno Sammartino. There's me and Frankie G. And there's the fire shot when I got and that's Thompson Speedway with the big monster trucks. Yeah, that was the good old days of the monster trucks. And there's me and the Von Erichs. All right, there's the Sicilians right there. Tony Altamori, they were known as the Italians. The Mafiosa, they stopped them from using that gimmick, I believe. All right, we're back here. We're going to say so long. We're going to say goodbye. And we're going to see you next time on Memories of the Boston God. And we're going to have some great shots, hopefully from Sports World. And we're going to be coming back with all the great stuff that I accumulate. And don't forget to watch me on all the new channels. Just surf me and wurf me. You'll find me. That's right. Thank you very much, Scott.
Thanks for having me.
See you next time on Memories of the Boston Garden.